Like, let me try to explain this to you with paint, okay? Okay, so let me try to explain this to you guys. So, here we've got power, right? And over here, these are the weakest champions. And over here, these are the strongest champions, right? And in normals, you likely are using the whole spectrum, right? You're using the weakest champions and the strongest champions, correct? But in rank, the weakest champions are never played because they only ever play the strongest champion. And if you're only ever playing the strongest champions, the weakest champions look like pieces of shit. So the average champions become the new weakest champions. They're the somewhat playable but kind of weak champions. And then the slightly powerful champions, those become the new average champion. So if a champion is adequate, if they're here, they're likely underpowered. Does everyone get that concept? Yeah, I would put Aatrox in the... That's why people get so pissed off. They're like, oh, no, Aatrox not bad. He's not bad. Yeah, I guess compared to, like, Volibear and Udyr. Those of you asking, I mean, this is pretty provable. I can prove this to you very quickly. Here's bronze. Look at the pick rates. Okay? Here's silver. Look at the pick rates. Here's gold. In fact, this would be much easier to do, I feel, from bot lane. So here's bronze. Look at the pick rates, right? Here's silver. Look at the pick rates. Here's gold. Look at the pick rates. Here's platinum. Look at the pick rates. Here's diamond. Look at the pick rates. Here's masters. Look at the pick rates. Here's grandmasters. Well, not many games in grandmasters. At least until masters, it was fairly consistent. So let's stop there. Did you notice how the pick rate went up and up and up and up? It's because the higher rank you go, the more people are just going to meta whore. Because obviously meta whoring is going to put you to a higher rank. You know, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, really. You got that? Sure. In the grand scheme of things, is Varus, is he unplayably terrible? No. In fact, you can see here, even in Masters, the few people still playing Varus are at least doing okay with him, right? I mean, let's do Masters Plus just to get more. I mean, even in Masters Plus, they're still doing okay, right? But playing a low tier 80 carry pales in comparison to just picking Kai'Sa every game. So, is Varus, like, literally unplayable? Is he going to straight automatically lose you the game? No, obviously not. But you look here, Varus, who'd be somewhere around here, if all anyone is ever playing is Kai'Sa, Lucian, and Caitlyn, well, Varus starts to look kind of, doesn't he? And I've seen very good Varuses, very, very, very good ones. I've had many a game carried and counter-carried by Varus. Not every day, of course, but often enough. Had one happen today. Dude was chunking people from like half health with his Qs and shit. Varus is only played in a niche matchup. Okay, but does that make a champion bad if they're only played as a niche matchup? Probably doesn't make them well balanced, but does it make them bad? Obviously, ideally, you want champions to be pickable in every situation. Ideally. You're never going to hit that ideal, but you want to get as close to it as possible. Those Heim nerfs are a slap on the wrist. That's weird because I was reading on Twitter that people are like, oh yeah, fuck him, ha. Looks like Shaco is losing a tiny bit of scaling damage on his E, and people are throwing a temper tantrum over it. So his, I can just pull this up here. His grenade, his RE, is losing 50 damage and 15% AP, which is actually fairly big. And his W damage is going down by 10 flat. I don't know if I would call that like a slap on the wrist. That's kind of destroying one of his ultimates, and one of the most used ones at that. And more to the point, they're nerfing his rocket. And remember, well, basically he's going to lose, on a shotgun, he's losing 15. Base, he's losing 10. But I have no fucking clue how to extrapolate this. Looks like it's an additional 20 per rocket? 20%? So, he's losing 10 damage plus 2 per additional rocket hit. And his RE is getting super nerfed. That feels like more than a little slap on the wrist. Is it going to kill him? Yeah, probably not. It probably won't do very much, actually. But I don't think they really meant to kill him. Yeah, I'm kind of really wary of that Graves buff, because I feel like Graves is one meta shift away from just being a broken monstrosity again. The only issue he has at all is that he can't, like, gank early game very well. Graves' E cooldown gets reduced by 2 seconds, and everyone starts crying. Because his ability tends to get cooldown reduction, and then also goes down on each auto attack, which he can auto attack multiple times. So actually, a 2-second cooldown isn't a 2-second cooldown reduction. Yeah, up to 2 seconds reduction. So in reality, yeah, and it says True Grit faster. Because 2 seconds cooldown could be the difference between him being garbage and OP. Yes, actually, it could be. I don't know why you're making a joke at that. That's like saying, what if we reduced Aatrox's E by 2 seconds? Is 2 seconds cooldown the difference? Yeah, actually. Or like, what if we reduced Jax's Leap Strike by 2 seconds? Especially at max rank, going from 14 to 12? Yeah, that's kind of significant. I mean, once you have your cooldown reduction, your 30% cooldown reduction, yeah, that starts adding up pretty quick. That's the difference between one extra auto attack or not. If he has to have one less auto attack for each E, he's going to be dancing around a lot more, won't he? I'm kind of ruining that as Aatrox. Like, the dude already gains armor that makes me deal 0 damage. And now he's going to have way more gap closers. That's kind of going to be difficult to deal with. Garen is far underperforming right now. He's gaining 1 point. How much is that? 1.6? Whoopee. Is that like a multiplier or something? Does that number get like multiplied like 5 times or something? Because, okay, 1.6 more. Let's say swings 10 times. 16. Big fucking whoop. You do 16 more damage at level 18. Who gives a shit? It's per champion level? I don't know what that means. 0 to 8.4 on every level. So like on the last level, he'll gain 8.4 total. He literally can 1v1 any assassin or any melee champ that doesn't stack Conquer absurdly fast. No, he fucking can't. Jesus, just off the top of my head, Trundle, Nasus, Darius, Mord, Riven. Can literally build Triforce PD and still be broken tanky. Who gives a shit? The true damage execute? Okay, dude, you're acting like... Oh my lord. Oh my lord. So, here's Garen at this patch, Plat Plus. Here's Garen at this patch, Gold. Here's Garen this patch, Silver. Here's Garen this patch, Bronze. Here's Garen this patch, Iron. No one can play in Iron. I think he can acceptably gain a little bit more power, no? I'm not saying he needs over a 50% win rate in Diamond Plus, but like, he falls off. By Gold, he already starts falling off, you know? Isn't that a little bit early? Yes, 52% win rate in Bronze. Realistically, the champion should have been given more mechanics and shit to do to begin with. He shouldn't have been kept Garen's skill level, you know? Like being Garen's skill level probably should have been fixed, you know? It's just how problematic he would be in the division he's already picked so heavily in. But maybe part of getting out of Bronze is learning how to deal with Garen. And maybe Garen being somewhat playable, not amazingly playable, but let's say somewhat playable up until Diamond, maybe that's part of the experience. That is, like, maybe you just learn to beat Garen. And now you can get out of Silver and get into Gold. Garen is incredibly good at Bronze into Silver. Darius starts picking up Platinum, Diamond. And maybe just learning how to beat those champions is a part of the experience. Honestly. I'd say it's impressive. Wrist A hit Challenger Garen only. I actually dislike Wrist A's playstyle really poor, like, a lot, actually.